Welcome back to the Opposite Side TV, your go-to channel for the juiciest and most shocking stories in the world of entertainment. And today, we're diving into a scandal that has sent shockwaves through the K-drama industry and has taken the internet by storm for the past few weeks. Buckle up, because this one's got everything: rumors, speculation, and of course, fan reactions. The internet has been in a frenzy after reports started circulating about Kim Soo Hyun allegedly being linked to Kim Sae Ron in a way no one saw coming. Now, before we get into the details, let's do a quick rewind. Disclaimer: the content of this video is for informational and commentary purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and do not intend to defame, harm, or malign any individual, group, organization, or entity. The information presented is based on publicly available sources, including press conferences, social media posts, and news reports. We do not claim to have insider knowledge, and all allegations or statements discussed remain alleged unless officially verified by legal authorities. This video does not provide legal advice, nor is it intended to incite harassment or targeted behavior toward any party involved. Viewers are encouraged to do their own research and think critically about the information shared. As we all know, Kim Soo Hyun is the A-list actor, the king of K-dramas, with a career spanning over a decade. From Dream High to My Love from the Star, to It's Okay to Not Be Okay, and most recently, Queen of Tears. He has been a household name since 2011. His acting skills, undeniable charm, and spotless reputation have made him one of South Korea's most beloved stars. Not to mention, he's bagged multiple prestigious awards, including the Baeksang Arts Award for Best Actor and the grand prize Daesang at the KBS Drama Awards. His name is known internationally, and his influence in the entertainment industry is unmatched. In 2019, Kim Soo Hyun founded his own agency, Gold Medalist Entertainment, along with his cousin Lee Sarang, who directed the movie Real. Now, take note of this because it plays an important role in the entire Kim Soo Hyun controversy, not just regarding Kim Sae Ron, but also other female stars who starred alongside him, such as Sulli and Seo Ye-ji. On the other hand, Kim Sae Ron was once a rising star with a promising future. She made her acting debut in 2009 with the film A Brand New Life, a movie that won Best Asian Film at the 22nd Tokyo International Film Festival. This breakout role catapulted her into the international spotlight, making her the youngest South Korean artist to attend the Cannes Film Festival. She later starred in the critically acclaimed The Man from Nowhere alongside Won Bin, a film that solidified her status as a child prodigy in South Korea's acting scene. With her natural talent and ability to portray deep, complex emotions, she quickly became one of South Korea's most promising young stars. She went on to shine in dramas like Mirror of the Witch, High School Love-On, and The Queen's Classroom, earning recognition for her roles as characters facing tragic destinies. But as we all know, fame can be fleeting. In later years, Kim Sae Ron's career took a devastating turn. In 2022, she was involved in a shocking drunk driving incident that sent her career into free fall. After crashing her car into a transformer box in Gangnam and causing a power outage in the area, she faced legal repercussions, public backlash, and was ultimately fined. The scandal led to her withdrawal from projects, and her once bright reputation was severely damaged. The consequences didn't stop there. Due to her DUI incident, Kim Sae Ron was ordered to pay 700 million won in legal settlement costs, as well as a hefty contract cancellation fee to Gold Medalist due to her misconduct. Her attorney, Min Ki-ho, later revealed that she had no significant assets, claiming her earnings had been all spent by her parents either for their business or on living expenses for the family. As a result, Kim Sae Ron was forced to step away from the entertainment industry. She lost her roles in Trolley, Bloodhounds, and the film Us Every Day, which never saw the light of day. To make matters worse, she was placed on South Korea's public broadcaster KBS's blacklist, effectively banning her from appearing on their network. And when her contract with gold medalist expired in December 2022, the agency chose not to renew it. Kim Sae Ron attempted to make a comeback, but the public backlash made it impossible. In April 2024, she was set to participate in the play Dongchimi, but at the last minute, the production team announced she had withdrawn due to health reasons. Financially struggling, Kim took on part-time jobs, including working at a cafe and mentoring aspiring actors. However, these efforts weren't enough to cover her growing debts. Amid these hardships, she reportedly battled depression. Then, on February 16, 2025, at just 24 years old, Kim Sae Ron ended her life, on Kim Soo Hyun's birthday, no less. This sparked a ton of speculation and rumors, eventually leading to multiple YouTubers posting so-called leaks about Kim Soo Hyun's alleged relationship with Kim Sae Ron when she was still a minor. So, when did all this start? Well, according to claims made by Kim Sae Ron's aunt, Kim Soo Hyun met Kim Sae Ron when he was in his late 20s. And she was just 13 years old, a literal middle schooler. The two allegedly started dating in 2015 when she had just turned 15, and he was 27. Let that age gap sink in. That's a 12-year age gap with one of them still legally a minor. According to the aunt, Saeron didn't like Kim Soo Hyun at first, but he kept approaching her. And nobody in the family knew until she was in high school. They allegedly dated secretly for 6 years, until around 2021. Before we go any deeper, let's pause for a second and talk about something really important: grooming. Now, I know this word has been circulating online, especially when talking about the relationship between Kim Soo Hyun and the late Kim Sae Ron. Some people are throwing it around, others are confused by what it really means, and some even deny that it's applicable here. So let's break it down, clearly and carefully. Grooming is not just about illegal behavior or crossing lines. It's about slow, calculated manipulation. It's when someone, usually older and in a position of power or influence, builds trust with a younger person with the goal of controlling or exploiting them later on. This can happen over weeks, months, or even years. It doesn't always involve physical abuse. Sometimes it's emotional dependency, sometimes it's normalized secrecy, and often it starts with affection. According to psychological studies and experts, like those published in Child Abuse and Neglect Journal, grooming often includes giving the victim gifts or special treatment, trying to isolate them from friends or support systems, slowly normalizing inappropriate conversations or behavior, creating a sense of emotional obligation or guilt, making the victim feel special, like the relationship is a secret bond. And here's the hard part: the victim usually doesn't even realize it's happening, because to them, it doesn't feel like abuse. It feels like love, mentorship, or friendship. Grooming is not about mutual affection. It's a power imbalance. An adult, especially one in a position of influence or fame, has control over a minor's emotional and mental state in ways that skew their ability to consent freely. In the context of Kim Sae Ron and Kim Soo Hyun, even if the relationship didn't start as sexual, grooming isn't always about sex. It's about manipulating a younger person's sense of self and reality, often without them realizing until it's too late. If Kim Soo Hyun was significantly older and more powerful in the industry at the time, and if their relationship started when she was still legally a minor or very young, it creates grounds for concern under grooming dynamics. So, how does grooming affect victims? The impact is long-lasting and devastating. People who have been groomed often deal with trust issues, anxiety and depression, confusion about what healthy love looks like, shame, because they might have once believed the relationship was consensual, and yes, even PTSD. They also tend to blame themselves. That's the cruelty of grooming. It messes with your self-worth, your understanding of boundaries, and your ability to form future relationships. Victims may even defend their abuser during or after the abuse, not realizing they were manipulated. This is known as trauma bonding, a psychological effect of being emotionally dependent on the abuser. But wait, didn't she choose to date him? That's a question I've seen a lot online, especially from fans. And here's the thing. Can someone truly choose something when they're young, inexperienced, and emotionally vulnerable, especially if the other person is older, more famous, and more powerful? When there's a power imbalance, especially involving a minor, choice becomes blurry. Just because someone didn't say no doesn't mean they were in a position to say yes freely. Why didn't her family stop it? That's another common question. But let's be real. Grooming doesn't just target the victim. It targets the people around them too. Families often don't know the full scope of a grooming relationship. Abusers groom not just the victim, but often their families too, appearing charming, generous, or professional. And in the entertainment industry, NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and image contracts might further silence families from speaking out for fear of harming their child's career or breaching contractual terms. In some theories I've read online, people speculate that maybe Kim Sae Ron's family couldn't speak out earlier because of legal constraints in her contracts. That could explain why they only began speaking after her death. Is that 100% confirmed? No. But it's plausible and definitely not uncommon. Why are they speaking up now? Are they monetizing her death? Some fans argue that this is just about money or revenge, that the family is using her name to go after Kim Soo Hyun now. This is a painful but important question. Some theorize that the family may be speaking out now due to legal freedom posthumously, increased pressure from leaked evidence, a genuine desire to seek justice, as many families do when they feel the system failed to protect their loved one. Even if someone profits indirectly through media or sympathy, it does not erase the validity of their loss or claims. The trauma of losing a daughter can drive families to do whatever they can to tell their story, even if it's too late for some observers. The real question we should be asking is, why do we instantly assume they're lying and he's innocent? Where does that instinct come from? Let's be honest, parasocial attachments are dangerous. This brings me to a difficult but necessary point. Parasocial relationships, that deep emotional bond we form with celebrities, can cloud our judgment. When a scandal like this happens, fans go into defense mode. We say, he'd never do that. She's lying. They just want money. But in reality, we don't know these people. Not really. We know their image, their characters, their interviews, their drama lines. That's not the same as knowing their heart or their past. That doesn't mean he's guilty, but it also doesn't mean she's to blame. Why this all matters? Whether or not Kim Soo Hyun is legally guilty, the conversation around grooming, abuse, and power imbalance is crucial. It reflects broader societal failures in protecting minors in the entertainment industry, educating about consent and manipulation, and holding influential figures accountable. Final thought, grooming isn't always obvious. That's why it's dangerous. This situation, if nothing else, should be a wake-up call. If we care about justice, safety, and truth, we need to examine systems of power, not just individual choices. It's not about cancel culture. It's about creating a culture where young people are protected, believed, and respected. In 2019, Kim Soo Hyun started his own management agency, Gold Medalist, and Kim Sae Ron left YG Entertainment to join him. She reportedly helped him build the company from scratch, giving free acting lessons and helping scout talent, unpaid. Fast forward to 2022, the drunk driving incident. Kim Sae Ron got into major legal trouble, and although she initially said she'd handle it alone, Kim Soo Hyun and Gold Medalist stepped in. They paid nearly 700 million Korean won. That's almost $500,000 USD to clean up the mess. And here's the kicker. Allegedly, they didn't even ask for the money back. She said during a car ride, Kim Sae Ron expressed how thankful she was to Kim Soo Hyun, saying he was a good guy and she wanted to work hard to eventually repay him. But things started falling apart after that. Her contract with Gold Medalist ended. Then in 2024, out of nowhere, she was slapped with a notice to repay the full 700 million Korean won. Shocked, she tried to reach Kim Soo Hyun, called, texted, even used her cousin's phone. Nothing. Radio silence. And then, reporters started calling that same cousin's number, asking for Kim Sae Ron. Kim Sae Ron felt betrayed. She believed Kim Soo Hyun had leaked it to the press. And that's when things took a heartbreaking turn. Feeling betrayed, desperate, and drowning in debt, she posted a photo of her and Kim Soo Hyun together, right when his hit drama Queen of Tears was airing, probably hoping he'd reach out. Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae Ron were caught up in dating rumors in March 2024 after she uploaded a photo of them together. They were posing closely, with their cheeks against each other. She quickly deleted the photo. Instead of reaching out, Kim Soo Hyun and gold medalist issued a statement, and here's what they said, verbatim. "Hello, this is gold medalist. We are making an official statement regarding Kim Soo Hyun's photo that was spread today. We are informing you that Kim Soo Hyun's dating rumors are not currently true. The photo that has been spread online appears to have been taken in the past, when Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae Ron were under the same agency, and we are completely unable to understand the motivation behind Kim Sae Ron's action. Due to the photo in question, unnecessary misunderstandings and groundless speculation about our actor are currently running rampant, and we will be taking strong legal action through our legal representative in response to malicious slander and insulting posts that defame our actor's character or honor. We ask that you refrain from writing rumors or groundless speculation regarding this matter." After releasing that statement, they continued to ignore Kim Sae Ron's attempts to get in touch. Kim Sae Ron, who had allegedly been struggling financially and emotionally, tragically passed away on Kim Soo Hyun's birthday. Her aunt claims it was suicide brought on by the stress and isolation, and that's when things really exploded. Meanwhile, Kim Sae Ron's father is blaming another YouTuber, Lee Jin-ho, for his daughter's death, claiming the media circus surrounding her became unbearable. Following the controversy on March 10, 2025, about the two's relationship as exposed by her aunt, Korean news outlets obtained an additional photo of the two. It seems to have been taken at the same time as the previous controversial photo, as they are wearing the same clothes. Kim Soo Hyun is seen giving Kim Sae Ron a peck on the cheek. The GaroSero Research Institute YouTube channel, run by former reporter Kim Sae Ron, aired the aunt's full allegations. And let's just say, they did not hold back.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
They accused Soo Hyun of having intimacy with a minor, called him out for not attending her funeral, and even threatened to file official charges. Gold medalist responded again, this time furious. They called the entire broadcast false, accused the channel of spreading malicious lies, and promised to take the strongest legal action possible. And here's what they said, verbatim. "Hello, this is gold medalist. We would like to issue an official statement regarding the YouTube broadcast by GaroSero Research Institute concerning actor Kim Soo Hyun. All claims made by GaroSero Research Institute regarding Kim Soo Hyun through their YouTube broadcast are false. They allege that the company and Kim Soo Hyun, alongside YouTuber Lee Jin-ho, harassed the late actress Kim Sae Ron. Additionally, they claimed that Kim Soo Hyun had been in a romantic relationship with the late Kim Sae Ron since she was 15, that the company mishandled the situation following her DUI incident, and even that one of our managers was personally acquainted with YouTuber Lee Jin-ho. These malicious accusations against the company and Kim Soo Hyun are completely untrue and unacceptable. We are currently looking into pursuing the strongest possible legal action against GaroSero Research Institute for spreading false information." They also added that gold medalist is deeply saddened by the passing of the late Kim Sae Ron, who was once part of the agency, and we mourn her loss. However, the dissemination of such false information by GaroSero Research Institute mirrors the very cyber-wrecking that the late Kim Sae Ron suffered from during her lifetime. These actions are solely for personal gain of the YouTuber, defaming both the company and the deceased. We will respond to these allegations with zero tolerance. We earnestly request that these baseless falsehoods are not further spread, amplified, or reproduced. Basically, hard denial and legal threats. But the GaroSero Research Institute wasn't done. After the official statement, they posted a chilling response in the community section of their channel, saying, "And sometime tomorrow you can expect a report to be filed against you for the charge of having sex with a minor. dating an 8th grader? We sure hope you didn't actually have sex with her. From what we've heard, someone is definitely filing the report. But don't you dare coerce or threaten the bereaved. You know what will happen then, right? A scary man from nowhere might chew you up. Oh, and they also called him out for not attending her funeral, saying, "Oh, and by the way, even Wonbin showed up to Kim Sae Ron's funeral. So, why didn't you? Should have had some basic human decency, at the very least." Koreans at large are debating whether GaroSero Research Institute is a reliable source. Though Kim Sae Ron's aunt did mention that she had no choice but to choose the channel because no other Korean news outlet would lend her the platform to make her voice heard. After the exposé made by Kim Sae-ron's aunt, past interviews from both Kim Sae-ron and Kim Soo Hyun resurfaces once again that made people analyze the relationship between the two. For instance, one of Kim Sae Ron's 2017 interview has since resurfaced for how she talked about Kim Soo Hyun. In the interview with The Fact titled Snowy Road Actress Kim Sae Ron on how the 17-year-old immerses herself in a role, Kim Sae Ron answered that she would like to take on a rom-com with Kim Soo Hyun. She was asked, "Would you like to try a more ordinary role now?" In which she answered, "I still want to take on dark or heavy roles, but of course I'd also like to try more comfortable ones too. I'd be interested in doing slice-of-life acting, and I'd love to do K-dramas about friendship, or even a romantic comedy. Ever since I was little, I've mentioned actor Kim Soo Hyun whenever people ask me which actor I'd like to work with. He's 12 years older than me, but he looks so young, doesn't he?" She also said something almost identical to Ilgan Sports. "I haven't really thought about working with a specific actor. I'm not sure about a rom-com, but ever since I was young, I've always picked actor Kim Soo Hyun as someone I wanted to work with. I think it would be fun if we got to work on a project together. He is 12 years older than me, but he lives such a young life." Given this information, despite gold medalist issuing a statement claiming otherwise, some fans believe the late actress was groomed and gaslighted into staying in the relationship with him. Some of the comments were disgusted with Kim Soo Hyun. Oh no. Seeing how a 17-year-old kept repeating the same phrases like "looks young" or "young life" like a parrot, I feel like she might have been groomed and it's unsettling. No 17-year-old would say a 12-year gap would be okay because the guy looks young. Only a Juicies would say things like that. She was obviously gaslighted into thinking this way to a literal child. How come no one stepped in to stop such a baby from dating in a Juicy though? Why didn't anyone intervene? Young my age. Of course, people immediately looked at Kim Soo Hyun's past interviews, and what stood out the most that literally became viral amidst the controversy was Kim Soo Hyun's comment about marrying a 21-year-old when he turned 41. Back in 2013, Kim Soo Hyun starred in the hit film Secretly, Greatly. During the showcase on April 30th, 2013, the actor was asked about his plans back then and explained, "When I was 24, I made a life plan while thinking about how I would make a living, and I decided that I would get married between the ages of 36 and 37. But now, I don't think I'll be able to stick to that plan." He continued, "It looks like my marriage timeline has been pushed back a bit. I think I might be able to get married at around 41. I'll marry a 21-year-old when I'm 41. His comment immediately drew attention. The resurfaced comments sparked disgust among netizens, with many sharing how they felt seeing the interview again in light of recent allegations, along with many explaining why it was so significant that it was gaining attention. Netizens react strongly to Kim Soo Hyun's marriage comment. "I feel sick. Some people might be confused about why this interview suddenly resurfaced, but if you read the shocking revelation from GaroSero Research Institute, won't see that post, but if you remove the filter and read it, you'll see that Kim Sae Ron's aunt gave a voice interview claiming that Kim Soo Hyun dated Kim Sae Ron for 6 years, starting when she was 15. This is exactly why guys who pretend to be all innocent and pure are the most dangerous. This is super well known, LOL. Back when I was a student, I almost became a fan of Kim Soo Hyun, but after seeing posts like this and his past photos, I immediately backed away. Female fandoms of male actors are basically a breeding ground for hardcore misogynists. Female fandoms of male actors are basically a breeding ground for hardcore misogynists. The way they turn a blind eye to things is on the same level as K-pop stans excusing everything for foreign idols. The way they turn a blind eye to things is on the same level as international fans excusing everything for K-pop idols. And just when you thought the storm had calmed, the plot thickens with shocking new details about Kim Soo Hyun's alleged role in Kim Sae Ron's DUI scandal, and let's just say things are looking a lot darker than anyone expected. So here's what went down. After Kim Sae Ron's infamous drunk driving incident, her agency Gold Medalist, the one founded by none other than Kim Soo Hyun himself, reportedly offered to take care of the damages. Sounds supportive, right? But wait, according to Saeron's aunt, the company didn't step in out of kindness. They allegedly first demanded 20 billion Korean won. Yes, you heard that right, 20 billion Korean won, or about 13.7 million US dollars, as a penalty fee. Netizens are calling it extortion. And honestly, that's not an exaggeration. After some serious pushback from Saeron's family, especially her aunt, who started looking into the numbers herself, the company backed off the 20 billion and instead claimed it would just cover the settlement on her behalf. That amounted to 700 million Korean won, around 480,000 US dollars. Kim Soo Hyun allegedly told her she didn't have to pay it back. But fast forward to 2024, and suddenly she gets slapped with a lawsuit asking her to repay the full 700 million Korean won. What happened to "don't worry about it"? And if that wasn't heartbreaking enough, a personal message from Kim Sae Ron to Kim Soo Hyun, dated March 19, 2024, was leaked just after the news of their alleged secret relationship broke in March 2025. Here's what she wrote. "Oppa, this is Saeron. I received the letter of certification today that your company is suing me. You said that you would give me ample time, so I'm working hard, preparing to make a comeback. I will pay you back with a percentage from each work. I'm not saying that I won't pay you back, but if you suddenly ask for 700 million Korean won right now, I really can't do anything. It's not that I won't, but I can't. Do you really have to take it as far as a lawsuit? Please save me. I beg of you. Give me some time." Not only was she trying to handle a lawsuit in the background, she was also dealing with the fallout of their controversial past becoming public. Imagine that, being sued by someone you once trusted, someone you dated for 6 years, someone who once said, "Don't worry about paying me back." This paints a very different picture of Kim Soo Hyun's role, not just as an actor or a former boyfriend, but as a businessman, using legal channels against someone who helped him build his company, allegedly with unpaid labor when she was still a teenager. This wasn't just a business issue. This was personal. She was pleading, desperate for time, for understanding, from someone she once dated for 6 years. But her plea, according to her aunt, was ignored. In an interview, her aunt said, "As you mentioned, when an actor under the company goes through such an incident, shouldn't the company work together to resolve it?" Despite that, when it was initially said that the transformer crashed into shops and the damage was severe, the amount due to that incident was incredibly high. The penalty fees were ridiculous. At first, they mentioned over 20 billion Korean won. Regarding the shops that were damaged by the crashed transformer, we genuinely tried to investigate and compensate them, and I said we would look into it with the family. But the agency cut me off and just said they'd handle everything and to settle it quickly. From a parent's perspective, I thought the company would have a plan and would actively help for Saeron's sake, so we entrusted it to them. But instead, they shifted all the blame towards us and suddenly sent a letter with a demand for 700 million Korean won, hiring 3 lawyers to send a certified notice. Now, netizens are absolutely outraged. How did they even come up with 20 billion Korean won in calculations? Just how much did they belittle her as a young kid? If today and yesterday's interviews are all true, then he ought to be punished severely. 20 billion Korean won? Even 700 million Korean won is suspicious. Even if she killed someone, it wouldn't even amount to 20 billion Korean won. And honestly, it's a valid question. Where did they even get that number? No one was seriously injured in the DUI. Yes, she damaged a transformer. Yes, some shops were affected. But 20 billion Korean won? That's on another level. This entire situation has sparked a wildfire online. Public trust in gold medalist is cracking, and Kim Soo Hyun, who was once seen as one of Korea's most wholesome stars, is now facing a potential PR disaster of epic proportions. And just when we thought we'd seen the full scope of the mess, things take an even messier turn. Screenshots have gone viral on X, allegedly showing a private conversation between Kim Sae Ron and her cousin, revealing a drafted but unreleased personal statement about her past relationship with Kim Soo Hyun. These weren't leaked by tabloids, no. They came directly from Kim Sae Ron's aunt, who shared them with GaroSero Institute. So here's what happened. Apparently, journalists were hounding Kim Sae Ron's cousin, even though she had no involvement in the scandal. The cousin texted Kim Sae Ron saying, "I saw an article saying you are preparing a statement. I just saw it as I got off work now." To which Kim Sae Ron replied, "That's not true, it's a false report." But then, plot twist, she sends a screenshot of the statement she did write, adding with a casual laugh, "I did write one though, LOL." Hello, this is Kim Sae Ron. Firstly, I wish to apologize to those everyone and the industry staff who were affected and confused by my careless actions. Although the media is reporting the rumors which have been spreading in the media as falsehoods, I wish to clearly state that that is untrue. The photo uploaded on my Instagram stories was taken in 2016, and we were dating from November 19th, 2015 to July 7th, 2021. But gold medalist is currently claiming that they don't know my intentions behind uploading it, and this completely does not match up with what they have been doing. I hope that they can come to recognize and apologize their misdoings which caused me harm when I was still with the company. As an actress whose image is consumed by viewers, I am leaving this post in belief that people need to be told the truth. She was ready to go all in, but ultimately decided against posting it. Her cousin even pointed out a typo in the draft, to which Kim Sae Ron casually replied, "Okay, thanks." But when asked if she planned to post it after editing, she said, "I'm not going to. I just wrote it out." Like, she needed to get it off her chest, but she wasn't ready to go public. At least not until now, and it gets even more shocking. Her cousin then reveals gold medalist allegedly leaked her phone number to reporters, resulting in harassment. "I'm baffled at how they gave out my number." Kim Sae Ron replies, "Right, LOL." And finally, this mic drop from her cousin. "To hell with gold medalist. I'm infinitely praying they disappear into dust." Kim Sae Ron's response? "Me too." Let's now go back to the timeline and pull in another heartbreaking piece of evidence that adds even more gravity to this situation. That same day when Kim Sae Ron texted Kim Soo Hyun asking him to save her, she also sent a series of DMs to a close acquaintance. The content of that message? It's haunting. They didn't come. Even the contract details. Out of the 70-30 split, the company was supposed to pay 30%, but they made me pay 100%. They wrote the contract like that and scammed me. Her acquaintance was understandably shocked and responded, "No, but isn't this crazy? Seriously, no but if they really don't answer you, you're dead and I'm dead." To which Kim Sae Ron replied with words that will now never stop ringing. This is really important, and if they requested it knowing this, I have nothing left at all. They're basically telling me to just myself. The full DM conversation shows her spiraling emotionally, overwhelmed by a Korean won debt. Her friend was distraught. We're not talking about 70 million Korean won, but 700 million Korean won. Seriously, this is so wrong. Seriously, you need to contact your ex-boyfriend. Did he reply? How can you just make 700 million Korean won appear like that Saeron's reply? That's why I'm so dizzy right now. Those freaking trash they won't answer me, none of them. I'm fidgeting, I'm over. And then came the line that just breaks you. "My first love, my world is crumbling down." Now, after these messages surfaced, netizens on forums like Panchoa were quick to react. And their comments, they reflect a collective heartbreak and fury. She pretty much just confirmed Kim Soo Hyun / gold medalist is what drove her to death. Exactly. They pressured her to pay a huge amount of money, plus paying Lee Jin-ho to make sure she has no career to get back to. She cannot even work at a cafe or even enjoy stuff without getting vilified because of him. That's why they tried hard to divert attention, by dragging friend, ex-husband, etc., because they know it was wrong. If K-Media doesn't report any of this, I will fucking lose it. That's a criminal right here, and they are not touching him at all. Even broadcast stations are not reporting anything. Like, who is behind that guy? And look how he won't face any law repercussions for being a pedophile. He will live his life like nothing happened, enjoying the money he made, not caring that he killed a person. Kim Sae-Ron's statements about her relationship with Kim Soo Hyun never changed no matter who she was talking to. She shared the same timeline with her cousin, her bar friend, this friend, and even with Kim Soo Hyun. She had zero reason to lie. I mean, seriously, if I had a $700 million debt, I would cut myself too. I don't know why people thought being in debt was not a big deal. This could crush me. And worse, your ex is the one that told you to be paid, like right now. They really wanted her dead, so his secrets will be buried with her. He tried to get rid of her like she is nothing all these years. 6 years, 6. It's heartbreaking. I'd like to remind everyone that acting agencies usually follow a 70-30 or 60-40 profit split, and this applies to losses too. So technically, Kim Sae Ron should have only been responsible for 70% of the drama's penalty, but it seems like she unknowingly signed a contract where she'd be accountable for the full 100% of the losses. Also, despite gold medalist claiming the debt certificate was just a formality and they intended to write it off, they never told Kim Sae Ron this. Instead, they sent it through a law firm, threatened legal action if she failed to pay, and then cut off contact. 700 million won. How many people here could realistically pay that off? Even 10 years wouldn't be enough. Not to mention that the drama didn't actually kick her. The company asked to remove her because of the controversy, so they could have avoided it, or even negotiated a lower amount since the production wasn't adamant about firing her. That's what we were saying from the start. He pressured her to pay the 700 million to one with lawsuits and all, fully knowing she has no way to pay that amount in that short of time. It was a clear way of him trying to get rid of her completely from this world. He groomed her, manipulated her since she was 15. He knows damn well how to push her to that extreme choice. She did not take her life away on his birthday for nothing. And he was not happy as if he won the jackpot after her for nothing. Boy thought he achieved his goal and hide his evil crimes for eternity with her death. The emotional weight of this conversation is unbearable, especially knowing what came after. Kim Sae Ron died exactly the way she believed they wanted her to. This DM, paired with her desperate text to Kim Soo Hyun begging him to save her, paints a picture of someone completely cornered, with nowhere to turn, silenced by power, debt, and abandonment. So, you know things are really bad when even Dispatch? Yes, Dispatch, the very tabloid that makes a living off exposing celebrity relationships and sneaking around idols' private lives with telescopic cameras, is questioning the narrative. Yep, Dispatch, who normally wouldn't flinch at blowing up someone's career, just dropped a piece that low-key calls out gold medalist, Kim Soo Hyun's agency, for their role in Kim Sae Ron's downfall and quite possibly her death. At the time, Kim Sae Ron was the main breadwinner of her family. She was barely holding herself together. After her DUI scandal, she didn't just have to apologize and go quiet. She had to pay for the damages to gold medalist, manage her family's finances, and somehow figure out a way to survive in an industry that practically blacklisted her overnight. She was doing everything she could. Dispatch found out that she even sold her car, convertible bonds, and any asset she could to gather money. In the end, she scraped together about 200 million Korean won. That's all she could do. But what did gold medalist do? They still sent her an official notice to pay up the full 700 million won. According to Dispatch, this became her breaking point. You see, Dispatch reached out to Kim Sae Ron shortly after she uploaded that infamous selfie with Kim Soo Hyun, the one that shook the whole internet. Everyone was asking, "What is this? Why now?" And Dispatch, they did what Dispatch always does. They slid into her Kakao Talk inbox trying to get the scoop. But she shut it down politely. She didn't want the drama to escalate. She didn't want to say anything more, even to Dispatch. Dispatch then followed up by stating that despite knowing she had no means to pay the full amount, gold medalist still pushed through with the legal letter. She might have thought the debt was written off when her contract wasn't renewed, but when that letter came, everything fell apart. And then, Dispatch included one more damning quote, this time from a close acquaintance of Kim Soo Hyun. Kim Sae Ron's age is the issue, which is why they will never officially admit to dating. Let that sink in. They won't admit it, not because it's a private matter, not because they're trying to protect her legacy, but because of her age, because they knew it was wrong, morally and legally. Dispatch concluded their article by stating that there is no one thing that led to Kim Sae Ron's passing, rather attributing it to a combination of various factors, including YouTubers and the media spreading news, personal history, and pent-up frustrations. But what they did question, and rightfully so, was gold medalist's response. They asked, did this company really act in her best interest, or were they only ever protecting one person, Kim Soo Hyun? If you thought this was just another baseless rumor swirling around the K-drama world, sit down, because we're about to hit you with the receipts. Literal, handwritten receipts. We're talking about a full-on letter, dated June 9th, 2018, from none other than Kim Soo Hyun to Kim Sae Ron, written while he was serving his mandatory military service. Now, here's the kicker. Kim Soo Hyun was 30. Kim Sae Ron, she was just 17. Let's dive right into the full letter. Buckle up. June 9th, 2018. Saeron Nero. Today, the weather was so unpredictable that I felt like I was being tossed around in all directions this wonderful Saturday. What a great day for writing something and thinking about you, Saeron Nero. This morning in the foggy haze, I wondered, what kind of a day will it be today? Caught up in that feeling, I went straight to the Nori Bank karaoke and tried some Shin Sung Hoon songs, butchered them, and got in trouble for doing him disgrace. Maybe an hour or so later, the sun started blazing, the same sun that messed with my skin. I thought, this is a sign. So, I grabbed some oil and went up to the helipad, tanned both sides. After an hour, I couldn't handle it anymore because it got too hot. Then, I ate some lunch and am now watching some reruns of Heart Signal 2, cheering on for the contestants. It got dark outside again. Soon enough, the stormy clouds are letting go of everything they held onto, making all sorts of strange noises. I thought, wow, I'm so glad I'm not on a training mission today. About an hour later, the rain stopped unexpectedly. Perhaps the clouds went too hard, too fast. Or maybe it's gearing up for round 2. Anyway, the clouds stayed, but the weather cleared. The sun began gleaming in the clouds. The shadows of the clouds deepened, and through those shadows, rays of sunshine began bursting out. It was a sight worth seeing, but I didn't have a camera with me. I remember one November morning when snow was falling over the fallen leaves in the empty field, making it a lonely scene. I also remember when I first went on a mission, and my sight was completely filled with mountains. I thought, wow, I can't believe I'm seeing something like this in Korea. I remember, on the day of ambush training, the moon was so bright, and the sky was full of stars. Everything was so clear that I could see every nook and cranny of the terrain, which scared me. I spent the night terrified. I remember when the weather got better, and I could smell the change in seasons. I was dying from a tough training session, but then I could smell sand from a sunny beach. I remember feeling sentimental all day. What I'm trying to say is, I just want to share what I think is good, what I find as joy, what I'm looking at or feeling. I want to share these things with you. It's hard to see your face, but I still want to share with you how I feel inside, what I'm willing. I don't want to burden you. So, I guess what I can say is, I miss you. Anyway, it was a good weekend. I got to write some things. I thought about going back to work after discharge. Maybe I'll travel to Japan or somewhere far like Northern Europe. With all the younger guys here, I even thought maybe I'll go back to school. Would that mean we could school together? But when even is my discharge? Looking back, it has already been 8 months since I enlisted. But when I look ahead, I still have over a year left. So, that said, I hope you'll continue to do your best to take good care of me. Salute from far, far away, Kim Private First Class. Now, let's unpack this. First of all, calling her Saeron Nero. That's a cutesy nickname you don't just give to anyone. This is deeply personal, possibly even romantic. Then he goes full-on diary mode, singing, tanning, talking about stars, nature, heart signal. It reads like a man absolutely smitten, desperately wanting to share his life with someone who means something to him. He literally says, I want to share these things with you. I miss you. And closes with, please continue to take good care of me. And let's not forget, would that mean we could go to school together? Excuse me? This isn't just idle conversation. This is a 30-year-old man imagining a future life together with a 17-year-old girl. So, what does this letter prove? That there was a personal, emotionally intimate relationship, that it dates back years, at least to 2018, maybe earlier. That Kim Soo Hyun not only missed her, but trusted her, and saw her as someone close enough to write this deeply introspective letter too. And yes, the age gap and secrecy may be exactly why it was never admitted publicly. And don't forget what Dispatch reported from a source close to Kim Soo Hyun. Kim Sae Ron's age is the issue, which is why they will never officially admit to dating. With this letter now out in the open, it's getting harder and harder to deny that something very real, and possibly very hidden, was going on behind the scenes. Alright, besties. Just when we thought the letter from military service days was peak drama, bam! We get a postcard dropped straight from the city of love itself. And guess what? It wasn't just any postcard. It's allegedly from Kim Soo Hyun, written and sent during his 2019 trip to Paris. And the message? Oh, it's dripping in sweet nothings, regret, pride, and a lot of love. Here's the full text of what's believed to be his handwritten message. Saeron, I had a drink in Paris. I bought this postcard from a souvenir shop and took hold of a pen. I promise to keep nagging you on. I love you, Saeron. You make me so proud, Saeron. You're so amazing. And I'm sorry forever. November 1st, 2019, YouTuber Kim Paris. Let's take a moment. He straight up says, I love you. He calls her amazing. He tells her he's sorry forever. He's drinking in Paris, writing her a romantic postcard like he's in some 90s K-drama scene, pouring his heart out. Oh, and the cherry on top? That's signature. YouTuber Kim Paris. And here's where the internet detectives really stepped in. Turns out, Kim Soo Hyun has a whole thing with signing off like this. Fans on Bubble have receipts of him constantly ending messages with quirky sign-offs like, Kim will be back, Kim waiting ping, Kim just got back from Milano. It's a thing. It's his thing. So him signing off as YouTuber Kim Paris, that lines perfectly with his known texting behavior. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more damning, this next bit doesn't come from a hater or an anti-fan, but from a huge Kim Soo Hyun fan account on X. One user wrote, he always writes Kim XX on Bubble as his name. He usually self-names himself, and here you can see he also bullshits with his Kim Paris F. He can't even fall any deeper. This is irrefutable. Now, let me just say this. When your own fans start using the word irrefutable against you, you're not just spiraling, you're nosediving. And it didn't stop there. In another post by the same fan account, and again, I repeat, fan account, they brought up the infamous military letter saying, he even sent a letter to a minor in the army. This is freaking making me barf. The handwriting is indeed from Kim Soo Hyun. It's one thing for the public to criticize you. It's a whole different mess when the people who once ran fan accounts in your name are now breaking down the forensic handwriting on letters you allegedly sent to a teenager. But that's not all. The nickname Saeron wasn't some one-time pet name that popped out of nowhere in that letter or postcard. Nope. Kim Sae Ron herself publicly used it back in 2016. Yes, when she was just 15, she posted a photo on Twitter, now X, and captioned it simply, Saeron. That's 3 years before the Paris postcard, meaning this nickname wasn't just his thing for her, it was their thing. Public enough to drop online, private enough to stay under the radar. Until now. Once the postcard leaked, threads on X, The Coup, and other Korean forums exploded with comparisons, matching writing styles, timestamp receipts, and signature quirks. People are no longer just speculating. They're connecting dots, and for many, this is the smoking gun that contradicts Kim Soo Hyun's years of silence and denial about any romantic relationship with Kim Sae Ron. Okay, folks, buckle up because this part of the story is straight up K-drama boardroom crisis meets PR disaster cleanup. And let's just say, gold medalist might be regretting every word they once denied. On March 14, 2025, Kim Soo Hyun's agency, Gold Medalist, dropped what was supposed to be a clarifying statement about all the chaos stirred up by GaroSero Institute's YouTube Exposé. But instead of cleaning the mess, they kind of made it worse. Let's break it down. First off, the mental health angle. Gold medalist kicked things off by addressing the backlash from GaroSero's March 12th live broadcast. They said, Kim Soo Hyun showed sudden instability in his psychological health early this morning. He has been suffering through extreme confusion and chaos due to the claims he was responsible for Kim Sae Ron's sudden death. They basically say, look, we were going to release our full receipts later, but our actor is mentally spiraling, so here's the truth now. From we deny the dating rumors to yes, they dated, but she was an adult. In a whiplash turn from their 2024 we deny everything stance, gold medalist now confirms that Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae Ron were, in fact, a couple. But of course, only after she turned 19. Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae Ron were dating between the summer of 2019 and fall of 2020, after she became an adult. The private photos circulating were taken in winter 2020, meaning January to March 2020. They specifically referenced a now infamous kiss on the cheek photo and tried to argue that the shirt Kim Sae Ron was wearing proved it was post-2019. But here's where netizens clapped back hard. The t-shirt wars, 2019 or 2015? Gold medalist's big logic bomb was this. The shirt was released by the brand in June 2019, so it couldn't be from 2016. But the internet, specifically Korean netizens on the Koo and X, dug that brand history up real quick. Turns out the shirt was originally released in 2015, then re-released in China in 2019. And then, Kim Sae Ron herself dropped the ultimate revelation in the form of a text message. The photo posted on my Instagram story was taken in 2016, and we dated from November 19th, 2015 to July 7th, 2021. Let that sink in. She gave the exact dates of the relationship, down to the day. Netizens, absolutely not buying gold medalist's statement at this point. Here are some actual reactions from the Koo users, and they are not holding back. This is so funny for real because they pathetically started by editing the timeline now that the photos are released. Didn't they say it was all false on the first day this was exposed to? His lies are so insane and shameless. After that, people totally treated Kim Sae Ron as a crazy woman. Just how little they must think of her to have been so shameless about it back then. The final nail? The photo timestamp excuse. Gold medalist also tried to use photo metadata to prove another pic was from December 24th, 2019, Christmas Eve allegedly. But by this point, no one's buying it. They'd already denied the relationship ever existed last year, so now it looks like a retroactive cover-up, not a clarification. Gold medalist statement part 2. Military letters, debt drama, and the gift tax loophole. Okay, let's keep peeling back the drama onion because gold medalists didn't just stop at timelines and t-shirt arguments. Oh no, they went full defense attorney mode, pulling out military letters, financial audits, gift tax procedures, and emotional appeals to the public's humanity. Let's break it down. Military letter, I miss you, was just bro talk. So, one major piece of evidence that GaroSero Institute brought out was a letter Kim Soo Hyun wrote to Kim Sae Ron while he was serving in the military. It allegedly showed affection and implied a deeper, earlier relationship. But gold medalist said, hold up, this letter, it was just a friendly letter sent to multiple close friends. And the infamous I miss you? It's a light-hearted expression used by soldiers. Nothing romantic. They claim GaroSero twisted the context by mixing that letter with a postcard Kim Soo Hyun sent during their later confirmed dating period and exaggerated the intimacy. They even addressed the nickname Saeron Nero, saying it was not some secret pet name, but a public username Kim Sae Ron had used since 2016. So basically, that wasn't flirting, that was just barracks banter. The privacy moral plea. Who does this benefit? Then came the moral angle, an emotional appeal about dragging private lives into the public for entertainment. Gold medalist essentially asks, where is the line? A photo taken when she was an adult is now claimed to be from when she was 16. A mom's acquaintance is suddenly labeled her aunt. The internet took a few visuals and spun a whole narrative. They argue that the rumor mill retroactively villainized Kim Soo Hyun, especially linking him to Kim Sae Ron's sudden passing. With one out-of-context message, one person has been cast as a criminal, and then every past action is reinterpreted as an intentional evil deed. They claim this constant reinterpretation of facts has turned Kim Soo Hyun's entire public life into a condemnation narrative, one that he allegedly can't fight back against fast enough. The debt issue, the 700 controversy. And now we get to the financial chaos, one of the juiciest and most confusing parts of this whole saga. Let's untangle it. GaroSero Institute claimed gold medalist pressured Kim Sae Ron to repay a huge debt from her 2022 DUI scandal. Rumors said she asked Kim Soo Hyun for help, was ignored, and that this drove her to make her extreme decision. But gold medalist said, absolutely not. Here's their version. The original penalty was 1.14 billion Korean won. Gold medalist worked to lower that amount to 700 million Korean won. They sold her car, which had been damaged, and never repossessed it. They claim she couldn't make a comeback, couldn't pay the debt, and so they wrote it off in December 2023 legally. They even included details from their audit report from April 2024 to prove it. But wait, why send her a legal letter then? This part's important. People saw a legal notice sent to Kim Sae Ron and assumed the agency was demanding repayment. Gold medalist's explanation? It wasn't pressure, it was procedure. Apparently, Korean law requires a formal notice if a company writes off debt as a loss, especially to protect executives from being sued for mismanaging funds or giving unlawful benefits. Also, if they didn't send the notice, Kim Sae Ron could have been taxed on the forgiven debt as a gift, which would have made her situation even worse. It wasn't meant to make her pay, it was to help her avoid even more financial damage. Closing defense. Not denying criticism, but demanding fairness. Gold medalist wraps up their statements by saying, yes, Kim Soo Hyun is a public figure, and yes, people have the right to scrutinize his actions. But we cannot accept false facts and personal attacks just because he is a celebrity. They say it's one thing to be judged for actual mistakes, but being crucified based on distorted, leaked, and reinterpreted information is another. Summary: gold medalist pulled out every stop. Military letter, bro joke, photo evidence, misdated, debt, settled, written off, legal docs provided. Pressure, none. Only paperwork. But whether the public buys it? That's a whole other story, because as the online sentiment shows, once trust is broken, no amount of receipts may fix it. Let's now talk about one of the most unexpected centerpieces of this entire controversy, a pair of glasses. Yes, glasses. Here's what happened. So, just one day after Kim Sae Ron's mother briefly spoke out on GaroSero Research Institute's live stream, gold medalist finally confirmed Kim Soo Hyun's relationship with Kim Sae Ron. And after gold medalist claimed that the viral photo of Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae Ron, where he's kissing her on the cheek, was taken in winter of 2020, the internet collectively said, "Sir, that is not the move." Because fans, especially the Chinese ones, pulled out receipts like they were born for this moment. Enter the photo, the now viral image of Kim Soo Hyun sweetly kissing Kim Sae Ron on the cheek. In the picture, he's wearing a black cap and thick black framed glasses. Gold medalist says, "Relax, it's from winter 2020. Netizens say, "Nuh-uh, no it's not." Why? Because back in 2015, Kim Soo Hyun was seen at the airport wearing the exact same glasses with the same hairstyle. Like, the same. Not similar, the same. Turns out those glasses weren't just a random fashion item, they were a birthday gift from fans. Specifically, Chinese fan bases like Kim Soo Hyun Bar and Kim Soo Hyun First Chinese Fan Site gave them to him back in 2013 for his birthday, during the filming of Secretly, Greatly. So when the agency tried to say the photo was from year 2020, X, formerly Twitter, went up in flames. One user even dragged them, saying, "Chinese fans are fast. Who are you fooling, you p-?" And then we get the mole analysis. Yep, mole. The little dot above Kim Soo Hyun's left eyebrow. In the viral couple photo, it's clearly visible. But in his 2019-2020 pics, that mole's gone. This is one of the many posts we've come across discussing Kim Soo Hyun's mole, or more specifically, how it allegedly isn't visible in his year 2019 to year 2020 photos. Some even claim this as proof of a timeline inconsistency in gold medalist statements. So, of course, we did a little digging. We scoured the internet for Kim Soo Hyun's 2019 to 2020 photos and compared them to the ones shared in the comment threads. And here's what we found. Yes, the mole is still there. In fact, it's clearly visible in some of his 2019 to 2020 pictures. Even in his 2020 hit drama, It's Okay to Not Be Okay, there's a scene where the mole is clearly visible on camera. Also, when we looked into his 2019 military discharge photos, we found that in some, the mole is visible. In others, not so much. So, what's the verdict for this mole investigation? Honestly, we can't use it as solid evidence of any timeline manipulation. He's an actor and a model, meaning makeup, concealer, lighting, and even post-production edits are standard. Some photos are so airbrushed you can't even see skin texture, let alone a tiny mole. And then there are the blurry and grainy ones that make it impossible to tell anything. And about that photo, GaroSero claims was taken in 2017 to 2018 and supposedly sent to Kim Sae Ron. We looked at it too. When we looked at that photo ourselves, we realized you can't really see the mole clearly at first. His skin looks completely smooth, almost airbrushed, and the photo quality itself isn't exactly high definition. But if you look closely, it's actually there. Faint, blurry, but definitely present. So, what does that mean? Well, here's the thing. Relying on whether or not you can spot a tiny mole in one specific image isn't solid evidence. Why? Because these photos are inconsistent. Some are super edited, others are low resolution, and we know how often celebrity photos, especially idol or actor pics, get whitewashed or retouched to perfection. A missing mole could be as simple as a beauty filter or a lighting issue, not a hidden timeline. So, final answer? No, this mole theory doesn't hold up as real evidence of a timeline lie. Let's not hang a whole conspiracy on a mole that's playing hide and seek depending on the lighting. Now, the agency also tried to explain away the military letter. You know, the one with, "I love you, I miss you," sprinkled throughout like it's a teenage love note. They said it was all friendly, just military boys being dramatic, and that the cutesy nickname Saeron wasn't anything special, just a general term of nickname that Kim Sae Ron used publicly. But then GaroSero entered the chat, and they were not having it. Was it just a friendly expression when someone said, "I love you, I miss you," to a minor? They also warned gold medalist, and I quote, "If that's the case, we'll release all the photos and videos today that can't even be compared to what has been released so far." GaroSero Institute exposed a shocking explicit picture of Kim Soo Hyun. The outlet claimed the private photo was taken in Kim Sae Ron's house and leaked it as additional proof of the nature of Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae Ron's past relationship. In the picture, Kim Soo Hyun is standing half naked near the sink of a kitchen. Eagle-eyed netizens have now found hard evidence that the kitchen Kim Soo Hyun is seen standing in the middle of is indeed the kitchen of late actress Kim Sae Ron. Kim Sae Ron showed the inside of her apartment to viewers through an episode of TVN's reality show On and Off back in 2020. In several clips, the late actress is spotted in her kitchen. Netizens have compared Kim Soo Hyun's surroundings in his explicit photo and found that several details are exactly the same. The countertops in the photo are the same color as Kim Sae Ron's kitchen, the position of the cutting boards is also exactly the same, and the dishwasher is placed in the same place. The comparisons have proved it's undeniable that Kim Soo Hyun's explicit photo was taken in Kim Sae Ron's kitchen. While Kim Sae Ron shared her apartment with viewers in September 2020, when she was 20 years old, it is unknown when the actress first started living there. Now let's go back to that infamous photo, the one where Kim Soo Hyun appears to be bottomless. GaroSero didn't hold back when addressing this. They clarified, quote, "That is a type of pajama." They went on to explain that it's a long t-shirt, worn like sleepwear, and then emphasized quite directly, "I want to make it clear that he's not wearing pants." And just in case there was any lingering doubt, they stated again, "This is a photo of him without pants." But that wasn't all. On the same day, GaroSero also released a formal position statement from the late Kim Sae Ron's family. Here's what they had to say. First, we want Kim Soo Hyun to acknowledge that he dated Kim Sae Ron when she was a minor, and officially apologize. Second, we want an official apology regarding the statement made by his agency, Gold Medalist, the one where they claimed they had never dated for the past 3 years, and even denied it just 3 days ago. Third, we request an apology for their failure to acknowledge Kim Sae Ron's contributions as a founding member of the company. Fourth, we want Kim Soo Hyun to acknowledge and apologize for the pressure he put on Kim Sae Ron regarding the 700 million won claim. Fifth, we want to clarify that we never mentioned Kim Soo Hyun in our earlier statement because we were focused on warning the public about Lee Jin-ho and cyber wreckers. The only thing we want now is an official apology from Kim Soo Hyun and his agency. Sixth, we had no choice but to release Kim Soo Hyun's photo to prove that the claims spread by Lee Jin-ho were false. We ask for the public's understanding in this decision. We plan to file a lawsuit against Lee Jin-ho next week. We're also asking for a sincere public apology from him, especially for what happened after the funeral and the burial, when he called to say he couldn't find the location. Whether he did it for fact-checking or not, we felt mocked, and the family found his behavior deeply unpleasant. So, there you have it. One damning photo, one unfiltered statement from the family, and a whole new layer of pressure, not just on Kim Soo Hyun, but on his agency, Gold Medalist, and on everyone involved in this increasingly complex controversy. Now circling back once more to that controversial bottomless photo of Kim Soo Hyun, there's been a lot of debate. Some fans of Kim Soo Hyun have stepped forward, claiming that in the actual photo, he's wearing shorts. Or at least boxer shorts. That's the version being quietly passed around in various fan communities. But here's where it gets a little murky. The image they're referring to, some people are speculating that it may have been AI generated. And honestly, that wouldn't be far-fetched. First of all, when we zoomed into the photo, the version being shared by fans, you can actually see the word AI written on it. That alone raises red flags. And second, we have to consider the possibility that AI could have been used to recreate the original censored image, removing the censorship added by GaroSero and filling in the gaps with guesswork or prompts. We were curious too, so we did some digging. And by digging, we mean scouring the internet, from Korean forums to Chinese websites and apps, trying to track down the origin of this so-called real photo being passed around by fans. But here's the thing, we couldn't find anything. There's no credible source, no original post, no early version, nothing. The only thing we found was that this edited image has been repeatedly reposted and circulated among fans, but its origin, still unknown. So, let's get honest here. We can't definitively say that the image Kim Soo Hyun's fans are sharing is the original unedited photo, especially when the only officially released version, the one with censorship, came directly from GaroSero and no one else. Until Kim Sae Ron's family, or GaroSero themselves, release the uncensored version of that photo, we can't say for sure which one is real. The censored image where GaroSero claims Kim Soo Hyun is bottomless, or the suspicious fan version that may very well be a product of AI. At this point, it's one claim versus another, and the truth remains buried under layers of edits, speculation, and controversy. A blurry but intriguing image began circulating, allegedly taken by a sasang or obsessive fan. In it, Kim Sae Ron is visible inside what appears to be her apartment. But what made the photo go viral wasn't her. It was the man next to her, who many believed was Kim Soo Hyun. Originally, the image was believed to be from 2017. That alone raised eyebrows, as it would align with the public's theory that the two were romantically linked during Saeron's early adulthood. But then came the Weibo twist. A user on the coup claimed that the same image was found posted on Chinese social media platform Weibo as far back as 2015. Now here's another detail that netizens have dug up, and it adds yet another layer to the growing mountain of evidence suggesting a past relationship between Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae Ron. Let's talk about the location where that now viral photo was taken, the one showing Kim Sae Ron and a man near an elevator. According to Kim Sae Ron herself, that elevator, it's from the apartment building where she lived until middle school. And get this, netizens managed to track down an old article from 2013, and in that article, Kim Sae Ron is seen wearing the exact same pair of shoes as the one in the viral elevator photo. Same shoes, same elevator, and a time frame that places her well before adulthood. This is crucial, because 2015 is the year when Kim Sae Ron would have been only 15 years old, directly contradicting the agency's narrative that they dated briefly as consenting adults. In response, Kim Soo Hyun's agency Gold Medalist released a new statement, flatly denying that the man in the photo is their actor. The man in the 2017 picture at Kim Sae Ron's apartment is not Kim Soo Hyun. They also took it a step further, accusing Kim Sae Ron's family of spreading false information and insinuating that they're fueling rumors with incomplete or manipulated content. If the image is authenticated and dated to 2015, it could serve as pivotal evidence. But if Gold Medalist proves it's not Kim Soo Hyun, it might expose the photo as a case of mistaken identity being weaponized. On March 17, 2025, Kim Sae Ron's bereaved family revealed that she had received not one, but 2 certified letters from Kim Soo Hyun's agency, Gold Medalist, prior to her death. Kim Sae Ron's family's legal representative stated, after the agency sent the first letter, the deceased sent a text message to Kim Soo Hyun asking him to save her. She also contacted the other company executives to request an extension on the repayment deadline, but received no response. She then received another letter from the agency. Although they mentioned that they had no choice but to send it due to a breach of trust, it was just a message that gave the deceased some time to pay off the debt. Let that sit for a moment. These weren't just random emails, they were formal legal notices, the kind that come with a delivery confirmation and a countdown clock of stress. In addition, they threatened legal action if she contacted Kim Soo Hyun or the agency actors directly or posted photos online. In fact, after the second letter, there was no contact from Kim Soo Hyun, the agency, or other actors. And here's where it gets gut-wrenching. After the agency sent the first letter, the deceased sent a text message to Kim Soo Hyun asking him to save her. According to the family, after that plea, there was only silence, followed by another letter. So, what was in the letters? The second letter, discovered after her death as the family sorted through her belongings, contained a direct threat of legal consequences. If you upload such photos to social media or contact anyone from the agency, you will have to compensate the Queen of Tears for any damages caused by such photos. Yes, Queen of Tears. This Queen of Tears. And this left everyone, especially Korean netizens, asking, what did a K-drama have to do with anything? The online response. What does the drama have to do with her? Korean netizens were stunned, and not just because of the chilling content in the letter, but because of the bizarre priority implied. Why was the top concern protecting a drama's reputation over the mental health of a person clearly in distress? Why was there no direct outreach to help, only silence and legal threats? This second letter seemed to be less about settling a financial dispute and more about damage control. Not for Kim Sae Ron, but for a multi-million-dollar production. The web of controversy surrounding Kim Soo Hyun deepens when you go back to 2017 with a film that was supposed to be a bold leap, but turned out to be a disaster. We're talking about Real, a heavily stylized action thriller that starred Kim Soo Hyun and the late Sulli. The film didn't just flop. It triggered a storm of controversy that now, in 2025, is being revisited with sharper eyes. Real was directed by Lee Sa-rang, a first-time filmmaker who, at the time, was introduced as Kim Soo Hyun's cousin. Later, it came to light that Lee Sa-rang is actually his half-brother. This isn't just a minor family detail, It matters, because Lee Sae-rang is also the co-founder of Kim Soo Hyun's agency, Gold Medalist, the same agency that is now aggressively refuting Kim Sae Ron's timeline and even questioning the legitimacy of her aunt's statements by saying she isn't a blood relative. Sulli's role in Real: exploitation or artistic risk? Sulli's appearance in Real was bold and polarizing. According to insiders, she filmed full topless scenes without a body double, a detail that was heavily promoted during the film's press run. But after the film's release, her nude scenes were leaked almost immediately, fueling outrage. The film, originally budgeted at nearly 11.5 billion Korean won, was criticized for using sensationalism to mask poor storytelling. Some critics even accused Lee Sae-rang of using the film as a family business project to benefit Kim Soo Hyun's career and wallet, without the experience or qualifications to back it up. And back in 2017, Dispatch called Real a family scheme. Why this matters in 2025. Fast forward to now, as Gold Medalist continues to discredit Kim Sae Ron's supporters, many online are pointing fingers back at Real, asking why Kim Soo Hyun's inner circle and family history are being brushed aside while Saeron's circle is under attack. But it doesn't end there. In an unexpected twist, Sulli's brother, Choi Gaeon-hee, posted cryptic messages that many believe were directed at Kim Soo Hyun himself. His posts included, "Kim C, I have a lot to say, but I can't. You're going to fall from your high position, so you better hold on tight. My life, your life, all of our lives are real." The references are subtle, but the implications are heavy. Choi's words come at a time when the industry is grappling with posthumous accountability and re-examining past scandals under a new lens. Public opinion: reckoning or witch hunt? Was Real a case of exploitation masked as artistic freedom? Is Gold Medalist guilty of hypocrisy in how it handles family ties? And why is Sulli's story, once dismissed as tragic and isolated, now finding echoes in Kim Sae Ron's experience? These aren't just gossip questions. They're about power dynamics, who gets protected and who gets silenced. After days of posting cryptic messages in his social media, Sulli's brother finally breaks his silence and calls out Kim Soo Hyun directly. Sulli's older brother finally came forward to the media and didn't hold back. In an exclusive interview with Sports Kyunghyang, he revealed that he's been holding this in for 6 years. 6 years of pain, silence, and waiting. And according to him, Kim Sae Ron's recent passing changed everything. He said, "We have spent the past 6 years in great sorrow and in tears, but we have also felt a lot of gratitude for the support and consideration many people have given us. We could not just ignore Kim Sae Ron's death as if it didn't have any relation to us. We extend our deepest condolences to her bereaved family. We urge that Kim Soo Hyun and Lee Ro-bae address these issues." So what does he want answers to exactly? He laid out 3 major points. Number 1, he's asking about testimonies from Sulli's funeral. During Sulli's funeral, we heard from staff and actors that her bedroom scene with Kim Soo Hyun was originally not as detailed in the script. We would like to hear Kim Soo Hyun's position on this. Number 2, he's bringing up the nude scene in the film. To our knowledge, there was a body double available for Sulli's nude scene, and the body double was present on set. Why was the body double not used? Why was Sulli persuaded and thus pressured into filming the bedroom and nude scene herself? Number 3, there's a conflict in the narrative. Initially, it was stated that the body double was absent due to illness. However, multiple testimonies from funeral attendees indicated that the body double was actually present on set. Is this true? There were many other things we heard at Sulli's funeral, but we are only asking for answers for these 3 fact-based instances. Please respond. And it didn't end there. He told Sports Kyunghyang that he genuinely hopes for truth to be revealed about Kim Sae Ron, and that he'd be willing to meet her family to offer comfort during this time of grief. I mean, for a grown man who allegedly sent a lewd video towards minor Kim Sae Ron, it honestly isn't shocking anymore, but still disgusting nonetheless. But we'll save that for later. Just a day after Sulli's brother publicly demanded answers from Kim Soo Hyun and his agency, a new voice stepped forward, one that many didn't expect. The original director of the film Real, Lee Jung-soob, who famously left the production midway, has now spoken out for the first time regarding the controversy surrounding Kim Soo Hyun and Sulli. He retweeted, "Thank you, I've been hurting for a long time," under a post that read, "Someone mentioned a tweet I wrote back in 2017 about the director change incident for the movie Real, and it made me realize it's being revisited because of that actor. But wait, could it be the person involved?" Now that the movie has been released, I can say this with confidence: what happened to that film is not even 1% the fault of director Lee Jung-soob. Another part of that same post went on to say, even if we set aside the case of the movie Real, if a director was replaced midway through production, and their replacement was the head of the production company, who hadn't even made their directorial debut, then it's absolutely the production company's fault. Director Lee has been visibly active on social media since then, reposting several posts criticizing Kim Soo Hyun and even chiming in himself. One post that caught attention was in response to Kim Soo Hyun allegedly ignoring Kim Sae Ron's calls after sending her the now infamous 700 million won certified letter. The director replied, "The South Korean media, the capital behind it, the star they promote, and the political and business circles they cling to, along with Kim and Chang, breaking through this solid cartel requires exposing it with filth. The desperation of having to reveal it this way, no one understands it unless they experience it firsthand." Now, this revelation triggered a new wave of speculation around Kim Soo Hyun. And here's why it matters. Remember, GaroSero had already dropped a bombshell, claiming that this controversy surrounding Kim Soo Hyun could be on par with the Nth Room scandal and that there are alleged connections between him and Chinese and Korean politicians. Naturally, netizens didn't hold back. One X-user wrote, "If numerous people share similar opinions about a particular person, there's likely some truth to it. I suppose there's more to Kim Soo Hyun than meets the eye, and I'll be here to see more of his hidden secrets come to light." Another chimed in with a much darker theory. Maybe that connection between Kim Ped and the Chinese and Korean politicians is not that so crazy after all. I mean, the weird and creepy audition for Real, it seems like a cover-up for a sex trafficking. And one more reply followed. This might be what they meant by bigger than the Nth Room case. A highly organized sex traffic crime involving high-profile people, and Kim Soo Hyun might be the middleman. But that's not where the director's involvement ends. He also commented, "This is so heartbreaking and painful," under a post showing Kim Sae Ron's Kakao Talk messages. And in one particularly emotional tweet, he posted a photo of Sulli saying, "This child would always send me countless photos every day, asking which one I liked best, proudly showing how pretty and admirable she was. I found it troublesome and bothersome, but I would only say that they were all so beautiful that I couldn't choose, even though that wasn't true at all. Sometimes I can still hear her persistent voice asking for an answer, and even now, with a sad face, I find myself searching for the one photo I like the most." Then, in another cryptic but pointed tweet, he said, "You should apologize to the deceased. You're human, right? It hasn't changed. It's just gotten worse." Now, many believe that last line is directed at Kim Soo Hyun. And if that's the case, the former director's words only deepen the questions about what really happened behind the scenes of Real and what kind of power dynamics were at play. I know you might be wondering what the lewd video was. Okay, this is where it goes from disturbing to full-on jaw-dropping. It was revealed by GaroSero Research Institute that Kim Soo Hyun had allegedly sent an inappropriate video to the late Kim Sae Ron when she was still a minor. The video? Kim Soo Hyun was in Paris, standing in front of a lingerie store, filming mannequins wearing see-through lingerie. And here's what he said in the clip. "Hello, this is Kim YouTuber. Right now I'm in front of some bra and panties. These are, well, they don't have these in Korea, right?" Then an acquaintance responds, "Such see-through? Of course they do." And Kim Soo Hyun says, "No, I mean such bodies. Ones with such proportions, ones as hot as these. How can Korean women take after them?" And if that wasn't enough, the acquaintance chimes in again. "Those nipples, the nipples." Yeah, I'll give you a moment to process that. This was allegedly a grown man sending this video to a minor. Being a pedophile on itself is already level 100 of disgusting, but this? I honestly don't have the words for this one. Some of Kim Soo Hyun's fans tried to counter the controversy by claiming that this inappropriate video was taken in 2019, which would make Kim Sae Ron 19 years old at the time. But GaroSero said otherwise. Now, personally, sure, 19 may be considered a legal adult in many places. But let's be real. At 19, you're still in that messy in-between stage. Not quite a teenager anymore, but not fully an adult either. You're still figuring out who you are. And more importantly, regardless of whether your partner is a minor, older than you, or even the same age, I think most of us would agree. Nobody wants to be compared to someone else's body, especially not to a mannequin. That's just demeaning. Kim Soo Hyun walked into the conference hall in a plain suit, face completely solemn. And let me tell you, reporters were ready. The room was packed, filled to the brim, cameras clicking like thunder. But here's the twist. Reporters weren't allowed to ask a single question. They were only there to listen and report. No distractions, no interruptions, just Kim Soo Hyun and his lawyer. He walked up, stood tall, and gave a full 90-degree bow to the press, to the cameras, to everyone watching. Then he sat down. And for the first time since the entire controversy broke out, he spoke. Now, I've been debating whether to include the full press conference in this episode or just a summary that still keeps all the important statements. Maybe one day we'll dedicate an entire episode solely for that. Compare everything he said with the claims made by Kim Sae Ron's family. But for now, let's break it down, point by point, without leaving anything out. So first of all, he opened by talking about himself. Not the issue, not Kim Sae Ron, but himself. He described how since his debut, he's been overwhelmed by love and success, and how all that came with things he had to protect: fame, career, his image, the cast and crew of Queen of Tears. He protected everything except Kim Sae Ron. At this point, he fully admits every decision he made was for his public image. And if we're being honest, that alone says a lot. Because what kind of person hides behind their stardom while someone else, an ex-girlfriend, takes all the blows? Even if I go back to when the show was airing, I will make the same decisions. Yep, he said it. He would still lie, still hide. And if you think that sounds selfish, he agrees. And then this, he reflected on how things might have changed had he come clean earlier. Now here's where I personally have to pause and say something. The thing that really tips me off is that you're more worried about your fans and your company, not the person who was literally dragged through the mud because of your silence, because of how your agency's statement made her look like some pathetic, attention-seeking woman. And let's not forget, he's not just an actor under that agency, he's the founder and CEO. So when they released that cold, dismissive statement after Kim Sae Ron's photo, saying they didn't know the intention behind her post, you mean to tell me he didn't know either? That he had no power to stop the silence or redirect the narrative? Let's not forget, the very statement his management released after Saeron uploaded that photo was what sparked another wave of brutal hate toward her, and that's because of how they worded it. You know what's truly interesting about this entire controversy? It could have all been prevented if his company had actually tried to listen to Kim Sae Ron. Then, Kim Sae Ron wouldn't have any reason to post their photo knowing the risks. Kim Sae Ron tried reaching out to the company, not just to Kim Soo Hyun, but to other employees, executives, anyone, and they ignored her. On top of that, they sent her a certified legal letter telling her to stop contacting anyone. Then, who exactly gave the legal team the order to include in the official notice that she must stop contacting anyone from the agency? How does that happen without the CEO's knowledge? Anyway, back to the press con. He admitted that each time a new piece of evidence came out, he wanted to step forward, but always hesitated. Then came the part we were all waiting for, especially his fans. Kim Soo Hyun, for the first time ever, publicly admitted that he and Kim Sae Ron were in a relationship. So there it is, a full admission, but with a timeline carefully outlined. Now that last line, that's his hard denial, that he never dated Kim Sae Ron as a minor. He followed it up with this. Some people advised that I should let things be, that I should accept some things and lower the risks. That way, I can let things blow over, and later, way later, I can come back to the industry. This tactic sounds familiar, doesn't it? For a lot of people in the entertainment industry, this stay quiet and wait it out strategy is practically fail-proof. Time passes, memories fade, and many actors who chose silence during their own scandals eventually bounced back, as if nothing ever happened. Let things blow over. And I mean, that's exactly what he and his company did after Kim Sae Ron posted that photo. They just let it die down, hoping people would forget. And funny enough, that's what she did too. Even when she had receipts, even when Dispatch was reportedly about to drop everything. She kept silent, bottled it up, until her last breath. He then said this: "Had I listened to them, I guess the private lives of me and the deceased might not have been revealed to this extent. Maybe I wouldn't have received threats every day about what photo or information would be released the next day. Maybe I wouldn't have been humiliated by having my private photos leaked. But I could not make myself admit that something was true when it was not, just because I was threatened. I did not date the deceased when she was a minor." This was his ultimate statement on the bigger accusations, that he never dated Kim Sae Ron as a minor, that all the rumors involving grooming, manipulation, and coercion were, according to him, untrue. So this part of the press conference is where things started to heat up. He addressed head-on one of the biggest allegations, the idea that his agency, Gold Medalist, may have played a role in Kim Sae Ron's tragic passing. He denied it, flat out. According to him, those claims were false. He said they were just a couple who loved each other and broke up. After that, they had no more contact. He emphasized that, like many couples, they didn't keep in touch, especially because they were both celebrities. Now sure, let's say you don't want to talk to your ex. That's fine. But here's the kicker. He's the CEO of the agency she was still signed to at that time. So, what happened to basic professionalism? You can go full PR mode to protect yourself and your image as an actor, but where was that energy when it came to protecting your own actress? Oh, come on! Then, he explained why he didn't reach out to her, even after her DUI scandal. He said he already knew how she was doing because they were in the same agency, so he didn't feel the need to contact her. And honestly, that part was just confusing. Like, what? You knew how she was doing? You knew she was basically blacklisted overnight, unable to book a single gig, and your agency didn't step up? You all just stayed silent? That's the definition of abandoning someone, especially when she was still under your roof. And then came the part about the YouTube videos, specifically the channel speaking on behalf of Kim Sae Ron's family. Kim Soo Hyun called them out. He said he heard they were claiming she was suffering because of him, but from what he understood, she was dating someone else at the time. He says, at the time those events supposedly happened, she was dating someone else. That's why he didn't reach out. It made it harder for him to reach out. They'd both moved on, and he didn't know what he could even say. But here's where I draw the line. Sure, exes get awkward. That's human. But again, you were her boss. Her dating life is not an excuse for neglect. You can't hide behind that when she was still professionally connected to you. What does her new boyfriend have to do with your duty as a CEO? Bringing up her other relationships here just feels like a distraction. And then he got emotional. He said he remained silent for so long, even when the world misunderstood him. He chose to carry that burden. But what pushed him to speak out now? The family accusing him of being the reason for her death. He listed out the allegations, that he groomed her when she was a minor, that he pressured her financially until she died, that he's basically being called a murderer. Then things got legal. He brought up the audio recording that the YouTube channel aired between Management Run's CEO and someone from Gold Medalist's legal team. The clip accused his agency of sending a second certified legal notice to pressure Kim Sae Ron over her debts. But Kim Soo Hyun clapped back. According to him, that same CEO gave a totally different story a year ago, and they had the call recording to prove it. He told the press to listen for yourself. For some context, that call was allegedly between Gold Medalist lawyer and Management Run's CEO, and it supposedly shows that the second letter was just procedural, not some coercive pressure tactic. Then came the next bombshell, the Kakao Talk messages. You remember? The ones Kim Sae Ron's family revealed during their press conference? The ones with timelines pointing to possible grooming, manipulation, and inappropriate behavior? Kim Soo Hyun denied all of it. He said the messages were full of inconsistencies. According to him, they couldn't have come from Kim Sae Ron. Why? Because the details were off, like the dates, her agency's name, contract length, and even her age reference. He said the messages from 2016 and 2018 weren't written by the same person. To back this up, he told everyone that he submitted both his and the family's cacao messages to a forensic analysis company that specializes in speech patterns. Their conclusion? The writing styles across the years came from different people. Okay, so here's some important context. When Kim Soo Hyun said he requested an analysis into the Kakao Talk messages, what he meant was that he had experts analyze the speech patterns. Not the content, not the original data, just the writing style of the messages from 2016 and 2018. And based on that, they concluded with 92% confidence that the texts weren't written by the same person. They never even showed the actual messages. Everything is based on these supposed speech patterns. And let's not forget the disclaimer that briefly appeared on screen during the press conference. It clearly stated that the speech pattern analysis was based on limited samples, and that if a broader pool of samples had been provided, the results could have changed, possibly even concluding that it was the same person after all. Meaning, the results are not definitive, the analysis can't be considered fully accurate, yet it was used as a key defense. So yeah, draw your own conclusion. He went on to say that the hardest part of this ordeal was how every time his agency denied something, the family would release more evidence, photos, audio clips, chat logs. He claimed that they were all edited or manipulated, using his past relationship to build a false narrative. He insists all of it be submitted to law enforcement for proper forensic examination. Honestly, that's the one part I do agree with. If the family believes in their proof, take it to court. Let it go through official channels. Toward the end of the conference, Kim Soo Hyun started shifting the spotlight back to himself. He talked about how the scandal has affected not just him, but also the people around him. And honestly, that part, we won't even include it in this breakdown. It felt like he was redirecting the conversation again, from the allegations to the pain he endured. He says, "I won't ask you to trust me, I'll prove it." And with that, Kim Soo Hyun stood up. He bowed one final time and walked away from the press conference in tears. So, after everything we've laid out, all the statements, all the press con footage, the receipts, the claims, the rebuttals, I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you think? Where do you stand after watching Kim Soo Hyun's press conference and hearing everything he had to say? Because when it first aired, it blew up on social media, especially over on X, where the actor instantly trended with users calling him K Diddy. Yeah, that's short for Korean Diddy, and that nickname alone says a lot about the public's reaction. There was shock. There was curiosity. There are even memes, parodies, and reaction videos. I even saw one from a lawyer who looked stressed out while watching his press conference. And surprisingly, a wave of support. Even months later, if you search his name on X right now, the timeline's still alive, full of fans backing him up. Some were already defending him even before the press con, back when GaroSero's first exposés hit the internet. Some even flipped the script and started putting the blame on Kim Sae Ron and her family, accusing them of planting fake evidence. And yes, we saw some of the posts ourselves. Kim Soo Hyun's fans are out here claiming that GaroSero is fabricating entire chat logs, and even accusing them of making up group chats. And get this, there are fans saying that the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea in New York allegedly debunked the bereaved families and GaroSero's wildest claims. Now that's something we're going to investigate further. Like, is that even true? Where did that come from? Who said it first? What's the actual source? We'll dig deep into all of that in our next episode. And speaking of GaroSero, if they're really putting out fake news and doctored screenshots, we'll uncover that too. Because there's just too much flying around right now, and at this point, we need to separate what's real from what's just for views. So here's what I'll leave you with. Number 1, use your brain. Seriously. We've all got access to the internet, so fact-checking is literally a click away. Don't fall for clickbait headlines or emotionally charged narratives that haven't been proven. Fake news spreads faster than facts, and the internet loves a good scandal, even if it's manufactured. Number 2, parasocial relationships. Be careful with those. They can be dangerous. You might think you know your fave inside and out, but real life is not a K-drama. At the end of the day, we don't truly know these celebrities. Not fully, not behind closed doors. So choose morality and conscience over blind standing any day. And this isn't just about Kim Soo Hyun or Kim Sae Ron. This goes for every celeb out there. Because fame, it's a filter. And truth, that's what we're all trying to find.